setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And good morning. It's Sunday morning. I welcome you to this podcast. It's a beautiful day. Well, I call it beautiful. It's a rainy day here, and I love the rain. I love what it brings. I love the greenness it brings. I love the flowers blooming. I love everything, the freshness that the rain provides us. So I'm always thankful to see the rain. I'm always thankful to see the rain. So today's Sunday, so I'm going to do a spiritual Sunday today because I think we need it. Over the past, for a long time now, we have lived in a land and lived in a country where Americans used to live together in harmony. We used to support each other. We used to love each other. We used to pray for each other. The problem is, we have lost it. We have lost this feeling of love. We have lost this feeling of choosing between good and fighting against evil. And I think that as we've watched over the past few weeks of people being killed, people being attacked, businesses being burnt down, a coronavirus stopping the way of life, blacks against whites, evilness within political parties. It's something that we are seeing and feeling and experiencing, and it's touching us every single day. And I think we need to think about exactly how we look at this. Stop looking at it in a political view. Put your political parties to the side. Excuse me. Put your political parties to the side. And let's think spiritually at the moment. Now we know that what we've seen is evil. It's bad. We see Black Lives Matter out there who say that they're fighting for the black individual, but they're really not. They are a fundraising group for the Democratic Party because if you look at who they're donating to and where their money is going to, every dollar that you spend into the into the Black Matters Party or group is going to fund Democratic congressional and Senate races. You can look it up, go to the website, it's there. Their motto is to help all black people, but none of it goes into the black community. So to me, if I look at that, I see somebody who is saying one thing but doing something totally different. And that's why you don't see any condemnations coming out of the Democratic Party because they're benefiting from it. They are using the meaning of Black Lives Matter and turning it into a racial situation which divides a nation. I sigh only because I think that we have lost our way. And we need to get back to the right road. I wrote a book 2 years ago called Ethically Thinking, It's Not That Hard. And I wrote it because I felt that the way that things were happening in our lives, even in our personal lives, we were being touched by unethical issues in life. And when we're touched by this, pretty soon it becomes nothing. Because we see it every single day. We see people attacking people. We see political commentary. We see nonsense in the streets. We see people rioting. We see people getting killed. We see cops getting killed. We see cops killing people. We see all of this, and pretty soon, every single day, it becomes life. And we never stop to say what is right, what is wrong, what's ethical, what's unethical, what's moral, what's unmoral. Proverbs 6:16 through 19. Listen, if you want to get wisdom on life, go to Proverbs. I tell you can learn so much just from that one book. Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 through 19 says the following, and this is something we need to adapt even into our own lives. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, the heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Think about that for a bit. Put it into your minds and into your heart. I'm going to repeat it again because I think it's so important that we really focus on this in the next few days as we live our lives. Ethically, morally, with a Christian heart, with God directing our path. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look. So many politicians and so many people in public have that proud look, right? They are better than you. They know more than you. That proud look. Then they have a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. On the streets of our city, we're seeing it done every single day. Antifa is going in with their guns and their ammo and their manpower and literally hurting other people and killing other people. And their feet that are swift in running to mischief. Their heart that devises wicked imaginations, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. We see it every single day on the media, on the news. We see it coming out of politicians' mouths. We see people who are so weak that they will bend with the wind or a political wind. That is evil. So you and I, we have to think about exactly in which direction do we want to go and what our country should be going into. Our lives should be built up into this ethical and moral stance. We bow down to God and we say, Lord, let me know what to do. Let me know. Guide my country. Guide my president. Guide the individuals who are running this country. But Father, we have got to knock out this nonsense, this hate. And over the last 4 years, we have seen hate grow and grow and grow and grow every single day. People calling each other names, lying, bearing false witness. We've seen it in the congressional hearings. We've seen it in the news. We've seen it everywhere where people no longer tell the truth. Or they push a political agenda that is so evil and so disgusting because you know where it's going to lead. I think we're at that point in time that you and we have to decide which side we're on. Which side are we on? Good or evil? Do we go with the side that says, listen, we need to have a fair and balanced country. We need to have God in our systems. We need to have our families back in order. We need to go into the inner cities and try to help those individuals out to make their schools better. We need to feed the poor. We need to take care of our own. We need to get involved in our communities. Because I'm telling you right now, it isn't government that's going to provide you with the solutions. It is you with God's help. Those of you who are out there rioting and protesting and saying Black Lives Matter, stop it. Go into your communities and begin to heal. Find who needs help and help them. Find the police departments that need to be involved in communities and get involved. Sit down with your elders, sit down with your ministries, and begin to say, what can we do to make this community better? It takes a community after community after community working within their own families, neighborhoods, that will make this country even better than it ever was before. Forget about the national politics, because right now we have an issue within our communities, our families, our neighborhoods, our blocks that we live in. These 6 things that the Lord hates, yea, 7, are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and a heart that devises evil imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. And we see it every single day, don't we? The politicians that stand there and preach and preach and preach, but do nothing. When we see politicians doing nothing and making the situation what happened? Making the situation worse every single day, dividing the nation, and then pointing the finger at somebody else because it's their fault, perhaps they should not be in office. Because they're really doing no good. They have pretty much practiced every one of the 7 things that God hates. You see, this coming election, we have to take sides between bad and good. If you look at one side, they're going off into nowhere. They are literally destroying neighborhoods, creating race riots, and supporting it. It's disgusting. It's evil. We're seeing tricky things happen with people being pointed saying, hey, you did this, so we are going to take you down. but they had nothing. What did they have? They had lying tongues. Lying tongues. And a very proud look, which God hates. We have another side on the side that says we want something good for the country. We want to do something good for the country. We're trying to create a positive outlook while the economy has been destroyed by a virus. The country is up in an uproar because of race relations, when it's really not race relations. And they're trying to move forward. They're trying to continue to move down the path that every American will be treated fairly and equally. And yet the other side is saying, no, they're liars, don't listen to them. And people are saying, oh, what do I do? I believe that every single one of us knows what the truth is. Put your politics to the side. Take the hat off that says you're a Democrat, the hat off that you're Black Lives Matter, your hat off that says you're a Republican or an independent. Close your eyes and truly focus on what is good for this nation. That is for everyone, not just for you and how you believe politically, but what is good for Americans. What is good for us. What is good for our families. You may be an anarchist who is listening to me at the moment. You may be an anarchist. And you have certain viewpoints that you want done. I want you to put your ethical hat on and your moral heart. And I want you to think about what would be good for this nation. What actions can be taken? How can I sit down with a politician or with a police officer? How can I begin that communication process? Because that truly would be good for our community, for our nation. Because taking over neighborhoods, destroying and interrupting other people's lives is not good. Remember on CNN the other day they said, where does it say that people cannot protest without some kind of violence? Where does it say that? Well, it says it right in the Constitution. It says you're free to assemble peacefully. You're free to assemble peacefully. You can dissent peacefully. You can let the nation know how you feel peacefully. It doesn't say that you can go in and destroy other people's lives. So our choice, and it's a choice that we have to make every single day of our lives, the choice of what is good and what is evil, moral, immoral, ethical, unethical. To the anarchist, if you feel that your goals are ethical, stop, think. How is it affecting other people? How many lives have you destroyed? How ethical is that? How moral is that? Think on it really hard. Put your hate to the side. Put your political views to the side. And you think about how your actions are affecting other individuals. What lives have you taken? What businesses have you destroyed? What have you stolen from other people that worked hard? What buildings have you broken the windows out of and torn down? What people have you attacked and hurt greatly? Anarchy. Think about it. The actions that you have taken, are they ethical? Are they moral? Are they good? This is a time where you need to begin taking your hate out on the world and start applying a spiritual sense to your life, because God is speaking to you right now. And He wants you to make that choice between good and evil. Those of you who are not anarchists, you have the same choice. You have the same decision choice between good and evil. Those of you who are out there trying to divide the races, is that ethical? Is it moral? Is it good? Those of you who are out there calling people names and using the racist word as a political word now, and not really having a dialogue on what true racism is your actions good? Is it ethical? Is it moral? By and through your actions, how have you hurt other people? Because I have not seen anyone helping anybody out there. What damage have you caused? Is your voice for moral, good, and ethical issues, or is it for pure, evil, political issues? It's a hard decision, I know, for a lot of you to make, because you get so tied up and you get so caught up in the political side that you forget to say what is good. It's the way that I'm living my life every single day, the words that I am using, the actions that I am entering into, are they good for the people around me? Or is it just good for myself? Are you the one with a proud look that is saying, I am so good at what I'm doing, but then you forget about everybody around you that you have touched their life in some way or another? That business that was burnt down in the name of your cause, is that ethical? Is it good? Is it moral? The issue is, we live a life that we want everybody to be free. We want everybody to have the equality that we all talk about all the time. But if we are taking our own political views and trying to divide a nation, divide a neighborhood, divide a family, we really don't have a message except evil. Your message is only hate. And you've seen what it's done to this nation. It has literally put people in power that have created so much destruction for this nation. But this is about how we live our lives. Are we walking a life that is good? Are we walking a life that has a path of morality to it? Are we making the right decisions between good and evil? Good and bad? We have to really take these things into consideration because God is watching every single thing that's going on at the moment. And I'm telling you, He is angry. He is angry. Because He sees the people who are so political corrupt at the moment. And I'm talking about you and myself also, not just politicians. But we are so politically corrupt that we have forgotten about making the right decisions and choices of good against evil. So you've got to make a decision here pretty soon. I mean, right now, at this very moment in time, are you going to choose good, or are you going to fight against evil? It's a decision that we have to make every single moment of our life. And everything that we do, everything that we say, how we work during the course of the day, how we practice our religion, how we practice our politics. It's that constant choice between good and evil. And if you find any of your actions hurting someone else, you have chosen a bad way, an evil way. If through your words you are offending and hurting other people, you have made your choice. And you did not choose the good part. Those of you who have literally taken bricks and thrown them at other Americans, you made a decision. And you chose the evil instead of the good. Those of you who took torches and torched small businesses to the ground, you made a decision between good and evil, and you chose evil. Those of you who have taken up a neighborhood and said that it's your own country now, made a choice between good and evil, and you chose evil because your actions affected everybody around you. Yes, you have people there that agree with you politically, but you hurt people who literally live in that neighborhood, in that community, in that state. The choice between good and evil, it's a decision, it's a hard decision to make every single day. And the only way you can get through it is by looking up and say, Lord, help me choose good. And help me fight against evil. The rule of law is so important. God's laws, the Ten Commandments, are vital to keep every single day of our lives. The law of man, we are taught in the Bible that we need to obey the laws. But we only bow to one God, and that is God. We don't bow to kings, we don't bow to people, we don't bow to any of that. We only bow to one individual, one person, one God. So when you see politicians bending the knee, they made a decision right then. Good or evil? Has their political passions become so hardened that that's the only way that they feel and see, and they want to push it on everybody else, and they forget about that people have the right of their opinion. They have the right to their freedom of speech, but the politicians attack other people based on what other people have said. They attack. But they forget that everybody has that right to say something. Freedom of speech. But it's how we use that freedom of speech. Are we choosing that freedom of speech to do something good, or are we choosing to do something evil? Are we using our freedom of speech to build people up, or are we using the freedom of speech to tear things down, to divide, to create havoc and chaos? A heart that devises wicked imagination. Feet that be swift in running to mischief. If you are practicing one of the 6 things that the Lord hated, you better stop right now. Because the outlook is not good. The outcome is destruction. Every single one of us, if we are an American, our responsibility is to do good. Our responsibility is to show grace to other people. Our responsibility is to have a nation that's equal to everybody, but by working with everybody. God is a good God. He hears us every single day. He's with us every single day. He has even told us that whatsoever we shall ask the Father in my name, so you shall receive it. So you shall receive it. If you want good in this nation, start praying for it. Start practicing it. Start working for it. Go into your neighbors and begin the conversation of what can you do for your community, and then start doing it. For you pastors out there, stop taking a political side and start preaching from the pulpit about how we love God and God loves us, and how we can do better within our communities. Churches are community-based organizations that need to do better at their job. That's it for this Sunday. That's my conversation with you. I really want us to think about this because it's really been on my heart for the last 4 years at least, as we're being bombarded every single day by hate, political hate. And I think that it's now time that we start turning this around and start building ourselves back up with spiritual love, human love. And start asking the questions of ourselves, what can I do better to help my community? That's what we should be doing. If you have a gift, use that gift. If you have a gift of talk, start talking. If you have the gift of listening, start listening. If you have the gift of leadership, start leading. If you have the gift of spirituality, start spreading your spiritual healing. If you have any gift, even if you have the gift to be able to sit down with a child in school, in an inner city school, and adopt that child for 1 year to tutor them, just tutor them through the school season, do it. Our kids need help. And there are so many of you who are so well educated that you can take this on. If you're good with youth, if you know how to motivate youth, if you know how to teach them between good and evil, to start teaching. If you have the ability to cook, start feeding the homeless. If you have the ability to do anything and God has given you a gift, start using that gift, because that is the ethical, the moral, the Christianity side of this country that we have to do. Instead of being out there on the streets, get involved in your community. Do what is right for those that live around you. I even say this, listen. How many of you communities has it been? You live on a block in some city or some community. How many times have you ever had a block party and got to know everybody? Oh, you've heard all the rumors about everybody, probably. But you've never really met them. Have a block party. Plan it out for this summer. Everybody knows how to cook. Get them to donate some food. Get the police involved. Invite them. Sit down and have some conversations over a cup of coffee. I used to love it. I used to work for this company a long time ago as a consultant. Big energy company. Independent energy company. And every Monday we would have coffee clutch discussions. And we would go in there, get our cup of coffee, maybe a Danish, and we would sit and would talk about what was going on in the business. What was happening with you? When was the last time you ever sat down with a cup of coffee with a neighbor and found out what is going on? We have gotten so used to living these independent lives that we have forgotten about everybody around us. And then we get into this politics, and our politics have become so disgusting that we've forgotten to think about how does it affect those around us. I tell you, as a mediator, I've told this story before. When people come before me to mediate a conflict, usually they have the same conflict, and usually they have almost the same results. If they will just sit down and talk with each other, that's what mediation does, you find out that you have a lot more in common and relationships can be built. But it takes that first step of just sitting down and talking. Maybe the women should have a coffee clutch. It's a hard word to say. A coffee clutch Tuesday in their neighborhoods. Where all the women get together, find out what's happening with their kids at school. Maybe the guys should sit down on a Thursday and talk about the security of their neighborhood. Maybe kids should sit down and say, hey, listen, let's talk about how we can keep our neighborhood clean, and we'll all work together on it. You see, it takes us all working together. Once we get too individualized and too independent out there, we only think about ourselves, but we never think about those or how our lives impact somebody else. Our lives are filled with experiences that we can pass on to someone else when they need it. Don't lock it up. Don't shut your door at night and think, I'm done for the day. No, your work is still going on, and it should continue, because you may have a neighbor 2 doors down that needs your experience. So I encourage every single one of you, get involved with your community. Forget this rioting. Forget this demonstrations. You want to make change? Start within your own community. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. I want everybody to go out and have a great, great weekend. And by the grace of God, we can do anything. This is Mike Lodge. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your grace, your amazing grace. Thank you for the way that you forgive me every day. Thank you for your grace, your amazing grace. Great is your mercy. Thank you for your grace. How could I breathe couldn't live without it. Your grace, no single word without it. How could I speak without it? I wouldn't want to sing without it. Your grace, thank you for your grace, your amazing grace. Thank you for the way that you forgive me every day. Thank you for your grace, your amazing grace. Great is your mercy. Thank you for your grace. Imagine the world without it. There'd be no hope without it. No chance of peace without it. Your grace. Now that I understand it, my everything demands it. No longer take for granted the everlasting saving power of grace. I know I don't deserve. Oh, grace that Calvary reserved for me. Oh, grace that takes my breath away. I lift my hands to worship you, so let me live to worship you.
Thank you for your grace, your amazing grace.
Your grace,
Thank you for the way that you forgive me every day.
every
Thank
day.
you for your grace, your amazing grace. Great is your mercy. Thank you for your grace.
Thank you for your grace, your amazing grace. Thank you for the way.
Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. If you have any questions or comments, send me a text at 818-252-5682. I'll be praying for you all this week and praying for this nation. This is Mike Lodge.
Great is your mercy. Thank you for